Hey, ó yá, ẹ̀yin tèmi, ṣé ẹ wà pa? Ṣé ẹ ní wonderful day o?
Good morning. Welcome to today's webinar. Sorry for the delay. Just had to tighten up some loose ends, but we are here now, so let's jump right into it. There's no time to waste time. Or is it time to waste time or no time to check time? I think it's no time to waste time. That's by the way. Dollar index. For those of us who joined us yesterday afternoon, we said that we marked this zone here and said that we expected some level of weakness from the dollar around this point because it was not concluded yet that the dollar was strong. The dollar was still weak. We looked at the dollar on 4 hours. We noticed that the dollar had broken this structure here, had broken it. So, of course, as I've always said, times without number, right? I've always said that when dollar breaks like that, dollar will return towards that point to take liquidity and head back down. So I still expect the dollar to fall back down, right? Yeah, technically speaking, I expect the dollar to actually still fall. So that said, we looked at a spot where the dollar might get to and be rejected. And that spot was tested here. Dollar was rejected here. Tried to do that, but we still have that resistance affecting the dollar, except if it breaks above that point. But for this morning, I will still bank on that weakness that I expect from the dollar. Like I said, the dollar really broke structure and broke it. Look at the daily time frame, guys. You know, I'm giving you reasons why I believe that the weakness will still continue. This was the last structure where dollar broke about 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and it broke on the daily time frame with a Maribozu candle. That's a very strong bearish candle, right? So still expect the dollar to be weak. And that means that something like Euro USD, which we looked out for a buy yesterday. So we actually gave ourselves about and about 3 entries for a buy. We gave ourselves 2 down here, 1 up here. It took the 1 up. It took the buy up. So that said, Euro USD has approached this point, has hit like for me, a support and something like a double bottom. So if I was advising anybody to trade Euro USD this morning, I would actually advise you to buy Euro USD. Okay, so now this is how it works. I still have those 3 spots. For instance, I would advise an instant buy on Euro USD. I advise an instant buy on Euro USD. When we are buying Euro USD, I expect Euro USD to head back to test this particular point. So an instant buy on Euro USD to 108,900 zone. That's around 20 something pips away. Now, apart from that, apart from your instant buy, I still stick with 1.08460 and 1.08320 as places we can still buy Euro USD from. So you will notice that I am still going for a buy on Euro USD. So 1.3 instant buy on Euro USD, 20 pips in mind, or even if price sells to 1.08460, you can still buy from there. Or if price sells to 1.08320, you can still buy from there. So for me, it's actually a buy on Euro USD. Okay, for me, it's a buy on Euro USD. Okay, so I'm advising the instant buy on Euro USD. Apart from the instant buy on Euro USD, you can also look out for buying from 1.08460 or buying from 1.08320. Okay, so and with this buy, we're considering at least 20 pips of profit. We're considering at least 20 pips of profit. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so moving on for Euro USD, let me look at some, because we're still going to have the afternoon session where we expect more move in the dollar. Let's look at some non-dollar pairs like AUD JPY. So you notice that when we hold events like this, and I try to maintain the same kind of the same kind of language, just to make sure that if you are somebody who is who joins these meetings regularly, you get used to what we are saying. It makes it easy for you to learn, right? We've always, for a while now, I have always mentioned structure, right? For AUDJPY, for instance, after this buy, this return like this, price actually gave this down, gave this lower point here. Now, price is at a place where there's a resistance. So there are two things price can do, right? Price can either break this structure here by trading above that point, and if price does that, price will likely return there to take liquidity and continue to the upside. You understand? Price will take liquidity and continue to the upside. So that's one of two things that price can do. That's one of two things price can do. Also, because of the fact that this is a resistance point, and looking at the fact that price cannot break that particular or it's a weak resistance, but you know the fact that it's a resistance. And then when you see candlestick patterns like this also, when you see candlestick pattern like a hammer or like this is a dragonfly doji at the top at a resistance, there's a high chance that price will fall from there. When you see it at a support, if you see something like this candle here, this one is a hammer at a support, you expect price to buy from there. But when you see something like this at a resistance or something like this at a resistance, you expect price to sell from there. So if you're looking at AUDJPY, we'll likely expect a further sell in AUDJPY. Now let's look at it on 15 minutes. Look at the two candlesticks that came out here, two Maribozu candles, which shows that there's a lot of bearish pressure around this place, and price is testing this particular, this place is becoming quite hard for price to break. You understand? So I'll be advising a sell, but I'll be advising a sell from below this particular support that price has created for itself, right? So this is a very nice way you can trade AUDJPY. Once price breaks below 103.650, once price breaks below 103.650, okay? Once price breaks below 103.650, all you have to do is if price breaks below 103.650, it means that price is likely going to continue that sale. So what you're going to do, or let me even make it lower, 103.610. Okay, patience is very important. 103.610 on AUDJPY. Now, it's not a sell stop. All you need to do is just mark that point on your chart. 103.610. Once that price breaks below it, it means price will continue selling. Once the price breaks below it, it means price will continue selling. And so the best way, there are two ways you can trade. If price breaks below it, let's say the candle comes like this below it, okay, the best way is for you to wait for price to return towards this place, and when it returns, you can now sell it from here. At least you can now sell it all the way to 103.190. At least you can sell from 103.190. Can sell from 103.190. That's what I'm doing. I would say, oh, let price break below 103.610. If it breaks below 103.610, I wait for it to return to that place, or I put a sell limit at that place. And when price gets here, I'll be looking out to sell to around 103.190, which is up to over 40 pips. Over 40 pips. Okay, so that is how I will trade AUDJPY. Now, another thing is if price also breaks structure above here. Remember that this is the resistance and support that price has been dealing with, right? And this resistance and support price has been dealing with. So if price breaks above that point, then you may now want to consider a buy on AUDJPY, even if I don't think that's likely. You know, you now want to consider a buy on AUDJPY, right? So you now say, oh, what if price breaks above 104.140? If price breaks above 104.140, like anything that makes price to break above this point like this, okay, I will wait for price to come back towards that place. I'll wait for price to come back towards that point. And when price comes back towards that point, I will now buy, looking out for at least 20 pips or thereabout. I hope we understand. I'm going to take it again, but you notice that I'm not just giving buy stop or sell stop. What I'm giving you is something that could actually give you a whole lot more profit. You understand? So just follow me, just walk with me, guys. Walk with me. So I'm saying that once again, I'll take it again. AUD-JPY is at a point whereby if you check it, it's at a strong resistance point. So what we did was to look out for two structures, right, on AUD-JPY. Where the bullish structure is, the bearish structure also is. For this place here, we marked, when we looked at it on 30 minutes, when we looked at AUD-JPY on 30 minutes, we marked this point here, where I have this, my first red line here. I marked it as a place where the first structure is. Why did I mark it like that? Now, let me show you why. I marked it like that because I noticed that this buy that was going like this is one place where price was selling and, it turned up. This is where that trend actually started because there was like a resistance here. Price broke it, returned, and then pushed up. So this is where I want price to break below before I can consider selling. Do you understand? So if you have that all you just need to do is mark out 103.610. All you have to do is mark out 103.610. Now, anything that makes price to break below, not a sell stop, anything that makes price to break below 103.610, you expect price to return towards that point, and then you can now okay. So as I was saying, once price breaks below 103.610, okay, I will expect, I'm not just going to start selling immediately. I expect price to return towards that point, and then I can sell with around 40 pips in mind. Okay, now for the buy, okay, I'm considering okay, maybe I'll have to bring this a bit closer. Good. I'm considering 104.100. 104.100. Now, for that 104.100, if price breaks above it, shoots up above it, I will expect, I'm not just going to buy immediately. I'll wait for price to return towards it. So I wait for price to break above 104.100, and then I wait for price to come back towards it, and then I can buy from there, looking out for around let's see, how many pips is this? Oh, over 40 pips also. So I can look out for around 30 to 40 pips of profit on AUD-JPY. Okay. So you notice that, especially when I look at the like we're looking at USD CAD now, one of the things for those persons who have been with us for a while, you know that one of the things we look at, we look at high impact. I did not check it out in front of us because I already know, we looked at it yesterday, we know that we do not have so much high impact in the market, right? That's the first thing. But the second thing now is that we also notice that when we check for high impact, the next thing we'll look out for is we'll also now consider the dollar index. So look at the dollar index, and we saw that that sell is still in play. Right now, if you look at USD CAD here on 1 hour, you can tell that this is a downtrend, right? This is a very good downtrend that USD CAD has formed on 1 hour. You can also confirm it on 4 hours that USD CAD has formed a very good downtrend. Now, what does that mean? That means that whenever what USD CAD will be doing is, it will be trading lower, breaking structure, returning back to take liquidity, breaking structure, returning back to take liquidity. That's what it will be doing. You understand? So as it stands now, the most recent structure on these 4 hours was somewhere around here. You know, this is a place where we had like price being rejected, right? Price was being rejected, and this 4 hours, so it's major. Now, price broke it. When price broke it, what will price do? Price will return towards that point and then start selling from there, right? So what we have is we have a situation whereby price has returned towards that place, has given us a bearish engulfing, and USD CAD is expected. I expect USD CAD to continue selling. I expect USD CAD to sell, just like we said about the weakness of the dollar, right? So what we are going to do is, there are two places I will be looking out for a sell on USD CAD, and I really hope it gets to that point, because if it gets to that point, would really make very good profit. Now, where is the point I'm talking about? I'm talking about this particular point here. The first point I'm talking about is here. Because why am I talking about that point? Remember that we are selling. But another important thing is, where are we selling from, right? Good. Now, why I want to sell from here is because this is a point where we have like a very clear rejection on 15 minutes, right? We have a very clear rejection on 15 minutes. And from this point here like this, we can actually expect a very good sell. Now, I also noticed like a fair value gap here, but I also noticed that that fair value gap has been covered up, you know, because price returned towards that place and was rejected. So these are the two ways we are going to sell USD. Number one, I'll be looking out for that sell from 1.36390. I'll be looking out for that sell from 1.36390. That's where I'll be selling from. Number two, I will now be selling from this point here. If it doesn't go as high as I expect and it starts falling, then I'll be selling from below this point, right? I would get very good move in the market if it gives me at 1.36394, right? If it gives me at 1.36394, if I'm selling for 1.36394, I can target over 40 pips, at least 40 pips. Because I expect if it gets here, I expect it to fall all the way to the province support. So that's around 40 pips. Okay. But if I'm selling from 1.36, 1.36040, 1.36040, if I'm selling from there, I'll just be targeting around 10 to 12 pips. You understand? I'll be targeting around 10 to 12 pips. So these are the two prices we're looking out to sell USD CAD. The first one is 1.36394. The first one is 1.36394. From there, I will sell targeting around 40 pips. The second one is 1.36040. From there, I would sell targeting around 10 pips or so. So how do I use this? If price gets to this place and I pick myself from there and price is coming down, okay, I can set at least a stop loss of around 10 to 20 pips, right? So as I'm targeting that 40 pips, anything that makes price to come to this place, I have a sell from this point too. So if this particular trade is giving me around 40 pips and this one is giving me 10 pips, altogether, I actually have like 50 pips. Do you understand? So the two places I'm selling from, considering the trend of the market, is 1.36394. That's where I will be selling from. It's selling from this one. So you could either use a sell limit from there or even wait for price to get there. Wait for price to get there. You can use price action around that place to sell from there. And I could also consider selling from 1.36040. Okay. Looking out for a sell of around 40 pips from the first entry and a sell of around 10 pips from the second entry. Okay. I really believe that I'm repeating these things at least 3-4 times. So I do not really know how it's hard for us to get. I believe maybe it's network. Some of us do not get what I'm saying and all that. But I need you to understand that it will be I may not be able to be replying all these repetitive questions on the chat as I take the analysis. And that's why most times I stay off the chat. You listen to what I have for you. You understand? For the person dropping Euro JPY, listen to the one I've given you. Okay. So it's me that is doing analysis. I've already prepared what I want to do. Listen to that one. If you have existing trades on Euro JPY, you have issues with them, this is not the best avenue to look at it because your entry point is unique to you. So I've always said that if you have entry point and all that, you can reach out to your account officers to look at that. You know, that's a unique situation. So guys, let's follow me. Now me, you go follow. You understand? So let's continue. So that's USD CAD. Once again, for USD CAD, I'm looking at two places for me to sell from. I'm looking at 1.36390. I'm also looking at 1.36040. I laugh. Benga, oil is doing sell. I think we sold oil since yesterday. So let's move on. Since we mentioned oil, we might as well look into it. So yesterday was very good. In the morning, sent out a buy trade on WhatsApp, which went well. And then yesterday afternoon, we gave a sell trade on the live trading session, which also went well. Now, remember that when we checked oil, we started with analyzing oil from the daily time frame, and we noticed something. And why we feel that oil buy is actually what is more what's the English now? Is what I am more confident of. Okay, remember that first of all, oil is a fundamental instrument. First of all, it's good that we're working with it technically, but it's also a very fundamental instrument. But if you notice on your daily time frame, from what we are seeing on daily time frame, you can see how price came to settle here. Okay, price came to settle here. If price had closed below this place here, anything that made price to close below here, then we will say that price has broken that structure and will likely keep selling. But it did not. It was rejected here. It gave us a hammer, and it gave us a hammer on daily time frame, and it confirmed it. So a buy is actually very good. It's what I would advise for oil. But that said, we also have to look at price zones, where it will be very profitable for us to take that buy. Right now, oil is close to a resistance. In fact, right now, oil is on a resistance. My indicator is not stating so, but you will see without the indicator, and that's why when we teach you support and resistance, we first do not begin with the indicators, right? Without the indicator, you can see that this place where price is, if you check it and you look at it towards the left, it's a place where price has been rejected from a couple of times in the past. You understand? So there is something about that point, even before this place, that my indicator is giving me as my verified resistance. You understand? So from that point, yeah, I expect that, price will cut. So I personally will be looking out for a buy or a bot. Where I'm buying from is very, very important, right? So for me, I would expect that oil will retrace towards the next available support, the next available fair value gap. From there, I would want to now take my buy to follow price to the upside. You understand? So that's the best way I want to trade oil. Right now, seeing that it's on this resistance, if you want to trade oil right now, advice is sell right now. Okay, you can do an instant sell on oil right now. If you're doing an instant sell on oil, your stop loss can just be above. Your stop loss can be at around 83.93. So you can do an instant sell on oil, just short sell on oil. Stop loss at around 83.93, and then your take profit could be at around 83.10. Your take profit could be around 83.10, or once you're in profit, you can look towards closing it. Now, why I've said that is because I expect a buy for oil long term, right? I expect a buy for oil long term, but except it breaks this particular point, we will not be sure of that buy, right? So a better place where I would want to a better place where I would want to buy oil is somewhere around here. Somewhere around here is a good place I want to buy oil. Let me zoom in and explain why I said so. So this is a place where I will want to buy. That's why I'm putting my profit at around 83.10. You understand? I'm putting my profit at around 83.10, but I expect to buy oil from this one. Why am I looking at that place? Because I noticed that we have a kind of fair value gap there, which price tried to approach before going up. I feel that price will still head towards this point. So either this place to take that buy, and I feel like if price gets towards this place, I would expect price to now break this verified resistance, right? So apart from the sell which you're taking, if you're taking that sell right now, you may already be seeing some little profit on oil. I will be considering buying oil from around, let me even just say I'll buy oil from around 82.30. I'll be considering buying oil from around 82.30. Okay, so you're doing your instant sell on oil right now, selling to around 83.10, but you're considering buying oil from 82.30. That's where I will. So now I could either have a buy limit around there, or the better thing I would advise is for you to just watch once price gets to that point, okay, and see how price action behaves. But there's a very high chance that if anything can push oil to this point, I really expect oil to buy and even maybe break this verified resistance. You understand? So that is how I would trade oil. Now, what what I've said is that I've said, first of all, I looked at the market on the daily time frame, understand what the market was doing on the daily time frame, right? And when I found out what the market was doing on the daily time frame, I'm trying to get a good entry on a smaller time frame. That is what we've had a class here where my Oga took us, where we're talking about multi-time frame analysis. You see the big picture on the daily time frame that, oh, from what the market is looking like right now, it's like oil is going to buy, right? But I'm not just going to start buying there. So I'm looking out for a good point where I can take advantage of that buy, right? And personally, I feel like one very good point to buy from is 82.30. I also feel even 82.90 is another good place to buy from. I also feel 82.90 is another good place to buy from. So what I'm doing is I'm watching price around 82.90. If I see it reject and begin to go up, I can buy from there. I'm also watching price from 82.30. From 82.30, I can also buy oil. You understand? So those are two places where I can consider looking out for a buy on oil. But right now, with the way it has performed, I think a sell is in order. Quick scalp, a sell on oil. Okay. Then since it's European session, let's just look at DE40 quickly. So DE40 on the daily time frame, guys. We need to be very careful with any form of this is because yesterday the market closed as a bearish engulfing. Market closed as a bearish engulfing. So what does that say to us? That says that there's a high chance that we might likely get a continued sell in the market. Although one thing about DE40 we've noticed is that you can never say never to a bullish run. Also, I noticed that it kind of broke structure. I noticed that the last structure was around here, right? The last structure was around this place here, right? Let me use my crosshair. It was around here, and then it broke the structure. It broke it by trading above this place. So remember that whenever I break structure, we expect some kind of pullback before it continues to the upside, right? But the truth is that this candlestick pattern here has been very bearish pattern. That's why if you check it on 1 hour, you can see how well DE40 is retracing. But personally, I feel like there is a number one, it's oversold. My RSI right now is showing us that DE40 is oversold right now. So it means that there could be a retracement anytime from now to the upside. Remember that this place where DE40 is now is a place where it was rejected. Look at this beautiful rejection on DE40. This is so beautiful. You understand? When you see a rejection like this, you understand that price is headed to the upside. It's very possible that from this point here, from this particular point where we see DE40 right now, it's very possible that DE40 is actually headed to the upside. Another thing is that if I look at it on 15 minutes and I consider my RSI, I notice that even when from this last low, like this price is making a lower low, my RSI is not so keen on that lower low. Like it seems like it's almost pointing upwards. You know, it's almost straight, if not pointing upwards. You understand? So we need to be careful with this particular zone here. Number one, it could be a very good opportunity for us to take advantage of any retracement in price. Number two, it could be a place for us to monitor and see if that sell is going to continue. Another thing is that because there was a bearish engulfing on DE40 yesterday, we would likely want today to confirm, you understand, to confirm it here. But let's see. We have that right now on 15 minutes, this guy is trading around the same point where it was rejected last time, right? So what we will do is look out for where the nearest resistance is on a better line. Like, okay, for instance, on 30 minutes now, this is where the next support, the next support is down at next support is down at around 18,500. Next support is, and that's a strong support. It's down at 18,500. So what are we going to do? If price can conveniently close below this point here, if price can conveniently break below, remember that there's a structure where price is right now, where price is trading, there's a structure there. So if price can conveniently close below 18,700, if price can close below 18,700, remember, as I've explained, once price closes below that point, price will likely retrace back to that zone. Price will do what? To likely retrace back to that zone. And when it retraces back to that place, that is where it will now fall from, back to this support, right? So we need to watch out for that place. Is price going to break above 18,700? If it breaks below, if it breaks below 18,700, then we expect that price would first return towards this zone here. Okay, to return towards that 18,750. If it goes towards that place, we now expect it to sell back from there. Okay, so it's not about a pending order for DE40. It's watching out for 18,700. Once price breaks it, then you can now use a sell limit at around 18,750, or you can wait for price to return back towards that place and then you sell from there. You understand? Then if somehow this is a very good place and price is rejected from this point, I think a good place to consider buying DE40 will be from 18,850. 18,850. So if price can trade to 18,850, then you can buy till around 18,950. If price can trade to 18,850, then you can buy to around 18,950. Okay, if price can trade to around 18,850, then you can consider buying to around 18,950. So two paramount prices we're looking at is 18,700 and 18,850, right? 18,700 and 18,850. Okay, good. The oil that was talked about is oils. There's an S beside it. That's why I said oil. So if I wanted you to trade WTI, I'll say oil WTI. Right? Let it confuse you. Okay, so that said, we've looked at currency. Let's look at one more currency. Okay, we'll look at one more index also. I think I want us to consider Euro JPY. Euro JPY and FR40, since we're in Eurozone right now. I think those will be good instruments to consider. Okay, so this Euro JPY. Oh, first of all, daily time frame. Euro JPY, Euro is strong. It's resumed. It's pushed back to the upside. It's doing very well. And I feel like that buy will likely continue. Now look at our chart. Pushed up to this place here. I pushed up to this place and was rejected back to the last structure that it broke. Right? Look at it. This was the last structure that Euro JPY broke, where it pushed all the way up. So it returned to that place and then continued. Just like I said about GBP JPY yesterday, and I hope we made profit from it. This buy is likely going to continue on Euro JPY. Now, right now, we understand and we agree that there is a kind of resistance that Euro JPY is currently battling with, right? So the best way to trade Euro JPY is to patiently wait for price to break this structure. If you have been following me, you already know what I'm going to say about this. So if it breaks this structure, it breaks above, let's say 169.480. It breaks above 169.480, then it will likely return to that point. And when it returns to that point, that is a good place for you to buy all the way to, I think, at least for you to buy to around 170.900. At least to buy up to 170.900. So if it breaks above this place, it will return back and then you can buy it around 170.900, and that's over 100 pips. So it's worth the wait. You understand? It's worth the wait. It's worth that patience. You can get up to 100 pips trading Euro JPY, just waiting for it to break above 169.480. Okay, and that place we would also look out for a buy is somewhere here. Although this is another example of fair value gap, guys. Look at this place. Price was ranging and then it pushed up here. Now, I've explained to us that most times when you have a buy, you have a sell. When you have a buy, you have a sell. Like when you have a sell like this. You know this sell that happened now like this. Price has returned to cover it. That's one nice thing about currencies. You understand? You know this sell that happened like this. Price has returned with a buy to cover this sell, any fair value gap that was created here. But here I can see two fair value gaps here. The first one I can see is somewhere around here. Here, where we had a buy like this, we've not had any sell to cover it, right? That's number one. Number two, from this point here, normally when you're trying to pick fair value gap, you consider 3 candles. Although price has come back to kind of pick this one because it's sold into this point ahead. So those fair value gap most times are places where price will return to pick liquidity and continue to the upside. You understand? So as it stands like this, we expect that price will what? I expect price to push up, and that's why I have marked 169.480. But if that doesn't happen, there are zones where I expect that if Euro JPY gets to, I can actually buy from there. Okay, I expect if Euro JPY gets to, I can buy from there. And one of those points to look out for that buy on Euro JPY, number one, is this point here, 168.720. 168.720 is a good place to buy Euro JPY from. If this resistance is too much for it, you can buy from 168.720. And that place I can also buy Euro JPY from is 168.260. 168.260, which is around this second fair value gap, or let's say 168.330. So what have we done? I've given us 3 prices to look at. So, right, the first one, and it's because we are considering a buy on Euro JPY, so we're just looking out for best places that we can buy from. The first one is 169.480. 169.480. The second one is, now if price breaks above 169.480, remember, expect it to return back and then the second one to buy from is if price sells to 168.720, you can look out for a buy from there, and 168.330. So if price picks this point, I expect that price should at least give us some 50 pips in profit. I expect that to give us at least some 50 pips in profit. Okay. And then FR40, guys. So just like DE40, FR40 bearish engulfing and even gap down this morning. There is a lot of bearish pressure, and that is why I even expect the euro to actually be strong, because European stocks are kind of weak. Sometimes you have a trade-off between stocks and currencies, so I expect it to be kind of but right now you will notice that this guy is has sold, just like D40 has sold, and that's sold to a particular support on 4 hours. Now this is where the most recent structure on FR40 is. This is the last place it got to. This is an other block where it got to and then pushed up from here, right? Many of you do not maybe look at this pattern and say, but if you're somebody who loves trading indices and you do not have enough capital to maybe withstand something like US 2000, US something, FR40 is still something that moves in a likewise direction that does not require as much. So you want to look at the instrument. So personally, this is where I will consider if I am going to continue selling FR40. It has to close below 80.87. It has to close below 80.87. If it closes below 80.87, then I would expect this sell to continue. But given that we have a very strong support where price has gotten to here, I think I would also consider a buy on FR40 Normally, if we were early enough, I would have said we look out for a buy from here. Okay, let's see. Let's look out. Yeah, let's look out for a buy on FRA40 from. You can look out for a buy. You can have your buy limit from 8107. Can have your buy limit from 8107. And if you have your buy limit from that point, 8107, you can consider take profit at around 8160. You can consider taking profit at around 8160. You can consider taking profit at around 8160. Okay, so I can look out for a buy from 8107. Consider taking profit at around 8160. I can put a stop loss at around 8087 for that buy. I can put a stop loss at around 8087. And put a stop loss at around 8087 for that buy. Now, if anything that makes price to close, remember I've said we are buying from 8107, considering profit at around 8160. I can have my stop loss at around 8087. Now, anything that makes price to break below 8087, whatever makes price to break below 8087, price would have broken this structure here. And so what price will now do? So price has hit our stop loss and price has broken this structure. What price will do is price will likely return towards this place. To return towards this place here, price will return towards it. When price returns towards it, price will now continue to the downside. Okay, so we are buying from 8107. We're looking at profit at around 8160. Our stop loss is 8087. Right now, anything that makes price to break below stop loss and break below 8087 means that price will likely return towards that 8107 that we bought from. Price will now return towards that place and now sell from there. So if price breaks its support, price will return towards that place and turn it to a resistance. I don't know if you get my point. Price will now return towards it, turn it to a resistance and head back down from there. You understand? So yeah. Well, for the fair value gap, the truth is, if you're talking about 2 minutes, I've actually spent 2 minutes explaining it, but 2 minutes is not enough for you, and I understand that. So that is why we're going to have a special session for that. So you just need to be patient. If it's about 2 minutes, I have since this week, I've made sure that anytime I talked, I was mentioning fair value gap and I've explained it, but obviously that's not enough. And I understand that it's not enough because the first time you might likely be hearing about it. So you need to be patient. Let's have a special session on it and you will understand it very well. Okay. So yes, that is that about FR40. Okay. So guys, we will continue our session by let's see. Normally we will have our afternoon session by 2 p.m. Of course, we'll provide market information on the WhatsApp channel. But we do not have any high impact news today. So 2 p.m. will be our normal time to continue our analysis. Okay. To be a better time. But yeah, so we'll join for the afternoon session with this same link by 2 p.m. today. You understand? So my name is Samuel. This is the link to the WhatsApp channel. Make sure that you click on this link to join. You understand? Make sure that you click to join. Okay. Wisdom, I think you should. I can't remember what I said for 1.08670, but you're putting me in a very difficult position here. I remember when whatever I said for 1.08670, I also would have explained what to do when it did not go, what did not go ahead. So maybe you need to go back, go to YouTube and watch. I think maybe this was an entry that was given yesterday or thereabout. I'm not sure. So I will not be able to provide proper answer to you. So you need to go back to YouTube because that class was held on YouTube. Go back to YouTube, watch what I said, and you do that work, right? So go on YouTube. When you go on YouTube, go to Rally Trade, and you can go to live. Every session that we hold there are recorded live, right? So you go on live and you watch what I said. But I still said that I expect your USD to actually push up, right? So that's it. I think that provides a summary, right? Good. So thank you so much. This is the link to our live streams. So you can click on it to get access to it. You should actually be doing that. After classes like this, you should go back, listen to what I said again. If you're actually doing that, you would, something like fair value gap, for instance, you would understand more than 50% of it. Because we hold these classes, you can go back to YouTube to watch them, but we don't go back. We just wait for the next day. And so go back, go on YouTube, click on that link, go to YouTube, watch it, listen to what has been said about fair value gap. Every time it was marked, what was the similarity? But I promise we're going to have an online session on fair value gap. Okay. So yeah, but that's much that we can take for today. Thank you so much for your time. And whatever question you have, you can just ask your account officer. I will not be able to answer again. Our time is up. But we will continue with this same link by 2 p.m. this afternoon. Bye for now.